I'll never say that I'm Puerto Rican live.
Why'd you point at Marco when you said Puerto Rican? He's clearly Mexican.
Oh, and you know the difference all of a sudden? Yeah.
He's told me.
Did what Navy people do.
What do Navy people do?
They meet up and then they screw.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about intercourse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with pointing girl parts.
1,000 followers on our Facebook, and Otto will do an episode with no shirt.
Okay.
You
I
down?
don't think as many people want to see that.
Are you kidding?
think
People
you're
have
wrong.
requested. Marco's asking for it right now. All right, everybody. Chad Dunham back at Indie Fitness for All Roads Lead to the Gym podcast. Co-host over here, Chance Main, the man, Nicholas Otto Assad, and today's special guest, Devin Packett,
What's up, guys?
truth.
personal trainer here at the gym. We're going to talk to Devin today about personal training, his path to the gym, his path to becoming a personal trainer. I know for a fact that Devin is a really good personal trainer, and how I can tell is he is the busiest personal trainer in our gym by far. It's not even close. One thing that we didn't get to talk to Chance about last week because he had to dip out. We had some news we were going to talk about. Let's just start with that. In the beginning of this podcast, we didn't know if you were going to stay or not.
Yeah,
because you
that's
had a
right.
few opportunities out of state.
Yes. Yep. Had some NASCAR opportunities down in, or over in North Carolina, and then also had a coaching opportunity show up out here at Independence Community College for the D-line coaching job. So went ahead and convinced my lady to, stay around here for a little bit. That was the hardest part about it. And then after that, it was pretty easy. But yeah, so going ahead and took the job and taking a D-line coaching position out there.
So perfect transition from your 9 years of college football that you played, and to, it was only 7,
Yeah, yeah.
5, 6, whatever it was.
Played like 5.
Yeah, so Chance is going to be around for a while. Hopefully the Independence Community College Pirates D-line will do their thing,
Ain't no hopefully about it.
and he'll get discovered by some bigger school.
Yep.
Move on, and hopefully someday we'll be watching him on TV. But that's big news that you get to stay. Happy about that.
Thank you.
Anything new with you, Otto?
Not a thing, bro.
Just doing your thing?
Just, you know what I mean? Running the gym.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Devin Packett. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what your background is, what you do, and we'll just kind of, we don't have no script here.
Sure.
We just off the cuff, bro.
So Devin Packett, 33 years old. I was born to two people that were in the Navy. They met whenever my mom went to their duty station. They did what Navy people do.
Wait.
What do Navy people do?
Yeah.
They meet up and then they screw.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about intercourse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with pointing girl parts.
Yeah. All right.
And then out pops Devin 9 months later?
Yeah.
Yes.
So did you grow up a Navy brat then?
Kinda, yeah. I was born in Puerto Rico, a naval base down there. Yeah, right.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
No, he's not a foreigner. That's a territory of the United States.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'll never say that I'm Puerto Rican live.
Why'd you point at Marco when you said Puerto Rican? He's clearly Mexican.
Oh, and you know the difference all of a sudden? Yeah.
He's told me.
Clearly.
No, so I was in Puerto Rico, not even for a year. They got stationed in Virginia after that. They split up because that's also what Navy people do when they have kids. We stayed there for a little while. Then my mom kind of moved us a little bit of everywhere. She was an air traffic controller, and part of growing in that community is taking different slightly higher position jobs with your experience and stuff like that. I don't get it. I've never done it, but apparently that's what you do. And we moved all over the country, man. I don't even remember half the places we lived. Mm-hmm. But whenever I was like 10, 11 years old, ended up in Kansas, went to school over in Longton, graduated. Wow. Yeah,
Longton is a very small town, correct?
Yeah, it is. Graduating class was 9.
9?
9
That is
people.
like the smallest number I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they're killing it out there, man. They're doing real good.
So just sidebar, just made me think of something.
Mm-hmm.
I do know of a guy who was in a graduating class of 1. He tells everyone he graduated first in his class.
Good for him.
Yeah, so I always make sure and tell him when I'm around new people, I say, do you know that Bill graduated last in his class?
Wow.
So anyway, sidebar, go ahead.
No, you're good. I joined the Navy right after that summer ended. I went as an electronics technician, worked with nuclear reactors, did that for 11 years. I operated, I taught for about 4 years, probably the best experience of my life, getting to teach people. Started off teaching like the people who had just joined, like the training that
I'm
I
going to
did.
have you scoot up on your mic just a little bit there.
Yep.
There you go.
So I trained the people when they showed up, like fresh out of, their A school and stuff, and did that for a little while. We eventually shut down to do like a big overhaul, whatever. And then I started teaching new staff that were coming in how to train students whenever they started everything back up.
Some teach the teacher stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Train the trainer, right.
Awesome.
So,
You had a knack for it.
yeah, I was pretty good at it.
So how long did you do in the Navy?
11 years and some change. I think it was like 11 and a half.
Holy shit! How
You know-
old are you?
I'm 33 now. I joined at 18.
So any reason, like what was the main reason you decided to get out of there?
So I was, while I was actually training at the place where I eventually went back to begin training, I got married. We had a kid, not in that order. And we ended up, like I said.
That's what Navy people do.
Yes, it is. And like I said, we ended up splitting up because that's also what Navy people do. And she came back to Kansas, and it was kind of, off and on visitation and stuff. Like I was going out to sea and stuff. There was no way that I could like responsibly have him stay with me. But when I got to my shore command and was doing training, I was able to spend more time with them. Like had a full summer to actually hang out with them, And I couldn't miss out on that.
So left for the kid. That's a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't regret it at all. Like, did I miss a pension? Yeah, that kind of sucks. But
So your job was working with nuclear reactors?
yeah,
No job market for that in Kansas?
not near here, no. It's Burlington. I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours north of here or something like that. They have a reactor there. But that still wasn't close enough for me to want to be close to him and see him every day. So I got a job up at a metal fabrication shop here in town, Matcor. Pretty much right after getting out, got on as a supervisor. Did that for a couple of years, and that's where like the transition into wanting to train came in. I was using my GI Bill, going to school, and
I remember when you came to me and you were like, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a personal trainer. What do you think about me training in here? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because Devin flat ass gets after it in here. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I skipped over the entire part that like got me into the gym. Like and it was the
yeah, I mean,
tacky-
I want to know that. Like, that's what we want. This is all roads lead to the gym. There's a reason you came to the gym, and that's what we want to know.
And that's probably like the tackiest part about it. Like all of us have seen that Facebook story where look what she did to him and look how he got her back. Like we've all clicked on the clickbait. And that's my story. Like I got my divorce and I was like, man, I'm going to get jacked and I'm going to pick up so many girls because I'm going to be a sailor. I'm going to be big. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And like we've all seen, all I got was a bunch of dudes telling me how good I look.
Yeah, dudes would be like, golly, man, your abs looking great. I mean, I've seen Devin. I think I've even told him he's back there hanging from the pull-up bar doing knee raises and got these abs popping. And I'm like,
Rock hard.
what's
Yes.
up? I wouldn't say that. I would say nice abs. Bro.
I would say that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like that was my goal whenever I started. Like, I wanted to pick up women. That was why I started working out. And there's like deeper stuff there. Like, I was the little guy. Like, I was small going through all of school. I was the short guy. I was not jacked. People would say I had a swimmer's build. I was scrawny.
Swimmers.
Swimmer's build, yeah. And a swimmer would take
Slender.
offense to that. Yeah. Yes, I was small. And I got tired of being that. I didn't want that to be my image. Like that's what the deep like what I really
Some
wanted.
body image problems.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, I got tired of being the small guy. I still am tired of being the small guy.
Well, you can't make yourself any taller.
No, I cannot, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, we were just discussing that. I don't know if it was Chance or someone in the football world I was discussing that with, and I also talked to our basketball coach out at the college about it. Is you just can't teach someone to be 6'5". You either are or you're not. Chance, D1 football player, tremendous athlete. Would he have been a D1 football player if he were 5'10"?
No.
So, I mean, genetics plays a role in it. I mean, he still had to work hard. He still had to put in the work. But and it's not to say that someone 5'10" can't make it, because they have.
Sure.
But that is rare.
Yeah, it's very unlikely.
And-
Well, I'm 5'6". I wasn't gonna make any kind of anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Was fitness and stuff throughout this entire journey something that you always touched in on and continued to try to do, we'll say religiously, or very consistently, or was that an
Once-
on and off thing?
No, once I got started, man, I was hooked. It was, I had that laser sight on it, which I don't think happens very often. Like, I don't want to say that I'm the exception or anything, but once I decided I wanted to do it, man, I got it. And honestly, being in the Navy kind of worked out. I was in a good position where I didn't have a lot of work to do. So, like, when I had to stay on the ship, I could go work out. I didn't have to miss, a workout because, like, I was on duty and I had stuff to do. Like, I made it work.
Right, and everybody has a reason or something, a why they started. And I think, was your reason just because you were kind of, it's like you were saying you're tired of being the smaller guy, or was that something that you could find peace or like some sort of form of meditation through lifting?
I've reached that point now. That is not where I was then.
Yeah.
It was a very, like, angry, volatile place at the time. And it transformed from me, wanting to pick up women to I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be the strongest little guy that there was.
Right.
And got into, like, an ego lifting phase. I got strong. I got bigger. And I stuck with that for a really long time. I wanted to be the strong small guy. Like, it actually kind of got onto that mentality. Like, you can't teach someone to be 6'5" or whatever. But damn it, I will be the strong guy.
You're trying to go against the grain.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
but make no mistake. How much do you weigh approximately?
Around 170.
170, pushing bench press over 300 or around 300?
I'm at 300 right
300.
now.
That's pretty impressive for someone who weighs 170.
That's heavy every day for anybody.
Yes.
Except Hagen.
Yeah. Except Hagen, yeah.
Except Hagen.
So you started coming to the gym, and
Yeah.
then how long after you started coming to the gym did you just like one day decide that you wanted to be a personal trainer? Or
It was a weird transition. So when COVID happened, and like I was up in New York at that time, that's where I was training. They shut the gyms down. Like I could not. That was the one thing that got in the way of it. Could not work out. They shut them down on base. They shut them down out in the real world. Couldn't do it. So like I did some like some yoga mat stuff at my house, but like it's not the same. And once I moved here to Kansas, I was in a like not very healthy relationship, just not in a good situation all the way around. Didn't take the gym very seriously, and it all kind of happened around the same time. Like I was sick of my job at MatCor. I was sick of not working out, and I was just like, man, there's no other way to put it. I got sick of my own bullshit, Got sick of this situation that I wasn't happy in with these people that I wasn't happy with. So the thing that sparked the personal training, I was using my GI Bill to go to college for, I was going for a degree in physics. After my first year, I was going to transfer to an electrical engineering program. And I had to take this careers in psychology class, and they have you take one of those career aptitude tests, right? And they have you take like 3 different ones, and like, how do these match up? What did you get? Whoop-de-whoop, whatever. And nothing came out to anything like technical, like no engineering, no anything like that. It was like I was kind of floored. I was like, well, this is unfortunate. And it was like I was like medical worker, athletic trainer. An athletic trainer really stuck to me.
Yeah. And what was some of the the character traits or whatever that this test you've taken that to kind of tell you more of your path. What was did some of those things strike you and say, hey, yeah, I could do that?
The stuff with helping people, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
helping.
I knew that I did not want to be like in the medical field, only because I know that it's an aggressive like school program, terrible hours, and that kind of goes against what I wanted to do with being around Matthew, right, my son. So I saw athletic training, and I was like, okay, like I can't. This is a 4-year program, but what's up with personal training? And so I looked it up. Like in the state of Kansas, you don't even need a license technically. Like that's a little irresponsible in my opinion, but I digress.
So you went ahead and got your license
I talked to a couple people first.
to see the importance of it and whatnot moving forward with that?
Yeah. So there was a personal trainer who used to work here, Wade.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Wade because I know that you had talked to Wade. Shout out Wade King Slick. I know he's watching. Former trainer here, also was kind of the manager before Otto kind
Yeah,
of took
taught me
over.
my job.
I can't say enough about what Wade did for this gym. I don't think that we would be in the position we were in without Wade. I don't think you would be in the position you're in without Wade. And, you know, big shout out to Wade.
Yeah.
He's in Oklahoma City now. He's recovering from a lung transplant. And, man, we miss that dude.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
Man, he was Johnny on the spot. And I know he took great pride in training people. And I can remember him telling me that you came to him about personal training. He was excited to be able to mentor you and kind of help you through that process.
Yeah, so the second part of that assignment, picking that field, or like seeing what your options were, the second part of that was going to interview someone who was in that field to learn about it. And so like I had to do it as a homework assignment anyways, and I was like, okay, why not? So we sat down in the aerobics room and talked to him for about 30 minutes, got my questions answered. And respect to Wade, he kind of set like a wall in front of me, and he told me that if you want to be successful with training, you'll have to go somewhere else. Like, okay, why is that? And he's like, it's a low income area. There's not a lot of people here who are very interested in their health and stuff like that. And logically, I get that. You know, like it is a low income area. Independence is not a huge town relative to like Kansas City or Wichita or whatever, right? But I didn't entirely subscribe to it. So fast forward a little bit, I was fed up with my factory job. Like I was done. So walked in one day. I had walked out by noon, sent an email to the major staff, said, hey, I quit, I'm done. Thank you. And I signed up for my personal training certs that day. I got myself set up for a little temp job, worked out at AutoZone just to keep a little bit of income, very like low hours while I was finishing my certs. Finished my certs like 2 or 3 weeks early.
Start to finish, how long did that take?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
That's early.
They say it's a 10-week program, but it's a pace yourself 10-week program.
Awesome. So I mean, you know, I know certain people who have become personal trainers. They decide they want to do that before they really spend any time in the gym. You kind of had an exercise science figured out.
I had a good routine, yeah. I wish that I knew half of the material when I was working out before, whenever I was in my like little angry phase, that I knew when I started doing all the homework and stuff. Like it changed everything about some of my routines.
You know, so I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit because you weren't here or you were out in the parking lot stuffing your face with cheeseburgers or whatever. But we were all sitting out here on the couch waiting on the great Chance Main to arrive.
Sorry, I was on the phone. It was a business meeting, but
Anyway, we're sitting out there, and one of our regular gym goers, Kim, she has made tremendous. I'm sure she won't mind me mentioning her.
Sure.
If she does, she can slap me later. But Kim has, we refer to her affectionately as Kimmy, has lost, what'd she say, 100 pounds.
Yes.
Wow.
And she has like 20 more pounds she wants to lose. I think she looks great the way she is. She works hard. I mean, a lot of times, 2 times a day. And she was asking me about losing the last few pounds or whatever, and I'm like, I'm sitting right next to the king of the personal trainers right here, Devin.
Ease up, buddy. It is not that
king.
deep.
And here, hey, it might be big fish in a little pond, but you're the big fish in this little pond. And man, he pulls out his phone and starts calculating her calorie intake, her weight, her height, and all that. And he's spitting knowledge to her that, he calculated that in just seconds. Is that things that you learn in the class, or is that something you've learned further education?
So actually, my nutrition stuff I learned through school, like going to college. They do touch on nutrition during the certifications, but I got the chance to get a really good deep dive into it through my college courses.
So, I'm a prime example of someone who works out madman and can work out for hours.
Yeah.
But the diet is not right. I doubt that it ever will be. I'm just going to be honest. I'm probably not going to start eating right now after 50 years of stuffing trash down my throat. But that is probably the biggest part of fitness, is it not? What percentage would you put on nutrition in someone being considered fit?
Depends on your goals. What I've heard a lot of people say is fitness is 80% of it. Like with weight loss, it is the vast majority of it. One of my very long time clients, one of my first ones, she lost over 100 pounds on nutrition alone. Just nutrition. She got her food right. She changed, it was lifestyle changes, I'm not gonna sit on the couch and Netflix all day. I'm gonna get up and mow my lawn frequently. I'm not gonna pay someone to do it. I'm gonna be mindful of my calories. She lost 100 pounds before she even started working out.
Super disciplined.
Yeah. She was locked in on it. And then we worked together at MatCore, so I got to see this progression as she lost the weight and stuff, and it was awesome. But as far as her fitness went, she was coming in doing some dumbbell work, for somebody who's not familiar with it, she was in here trying her best. Mm-hmm. And that's all that you can ask for.
And she hired you as a personal trainer, and you got her set up on a routine, or?
Yeah, just I took it to that next level. She was intimidated by the machine. She was intimidated by the free weight. She didn't know good form. She wanted to spot all of the things that people get in their heads about. They get scared of, the things that keep them on the treadmill or keep them doing lightweight dumbbell work.
So I'm not, I'm going to, hopefully that there's people that listen to this that are thinking about coming to the gym and they just don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. As a personal trainer, what would you tell someone who's sitting at home right now watching Netflix, eating popcorn, Pop-Tarts, watching TV, and thinking, I need to make a change, but I don't know where to start? Where would you tell them to start? What would you tell them to start?
Show up. To show up. When I said the people doing lightweight dumbbells and treadmills, that's not derogatory. That is a step. It just is. I was fortunate in that I had people on the ship who knew that I was going through my divorce, and they took me down that path, literal bro-to-j, bro-fessor relationship. And they got me into it. They dragged me through it. I won't say kicking and screaming, but I didn't know what I was doing, and they made me understand it. But for the people who don't necessarily have that, you just show up, do the treadmill work, do the dumbbell work.
Right. So I have been seeing it for years, the mistake that I think people make, and I don't even know if I don't want to call it a mistake because they're in here doing it and getting after it. Mm-hmm. But I have watched so many people come to me and say, getting a gym membership, I really don't know where to start. And I tell them some advice that I got when I started was from Garrett, Muscle McGee. He said, I asked him, kind of a lot of routine, and he was like, bud, just show up, move some weights around, and you'll figure it out. And that's pretty much what happened. Mm-hmm. But I watch people that are too intimidated to figure it out, and so they'll wander around the weight area for a while, and then they just go right back to the treadmill. And they just get on the treadmill. And, the science behind the treadmill, I'm not knocking the treadmill. I'd probably be on it at least 20 minutes a week. That's the plan once I get out of this foot boot.
There you go.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
holding him to it.
So
I said he's got to put it. That's the plan after now.
I also thought I might just wear the boot forever so I can skip leg day every day.
Hey, squats, man. We miss you in the squat rack.
Yeah, I'll be there. Let's see, what was I saying? Oh, the science behind the treadmill. So, can you talk a little bit about just for people at home? This is kind of a different podcast than we've done before because we have somewhat of a fitness expert. I know you get. I'm not an expert. I mean,
Not an expert.
you're the closest thing to an expert we have in this room, and maybe in this gym. What is kind of the science between treadmills versus weightlifting?
Okay, so doing steady state cardio, you're going to elevate your heart rate. You're going to burn some calories doing the work, and that is good. Put yourself at a little bit of an incline, get a good sweat going. You will burn calories in the form of carbs. That will help you in creating that deficit as long as you have your diet right. But you're not necessarily going to be doing any fat burning like within the workout itself. Now, if you're at a calorie deficit, like you're supposed to get 2,000 calories a day and you're getting like 1,700 calories a day, your body is going to make up the energy that it's not getting from the food that you're eating in the form of any fat that you have stored. So that is kind of the philosophy of fat loss and weight loss, is you maintain yourself at a constant deficit, not some like reckless shit like 1,000 calories below or anything like that, like a safe margin.
What does it say? 500? Does that say?
I like to tell my people 500. Yeah, there are some people who go deeper than that. I don't personally recommend it, but there are people who do it.
So essentially, that's a pound, because a pound is allegedly roughly 3,500 calories.
Yes.
So if you're in a deficit of 500 a day,
Yep.
That's not a big enough deficit to put your body into starvation.
Right.
So that's equivalent to a pound a week.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who gained weight over a course of years didn't gain a pound a week. They gain a pound every 2 or 3 weeks over the course of 3 or 4 years, and then they want to lose it all in 2 weeks or a month, and it's just not feasible.
It's not.
You would
not
lose
safe.
a lot of water that way. You would send your body into starvation. So now talk a little bit about resistance training and weights. What is that kind of science?
Okay, so I will have everyone start with strength, like with weight training. When you begin to build up the muscle, you're promoting the growth of lean muscle mass. Now, every single person has a X number of calories that they burn just through regular metabolic processes, like your digestive system working, your brain working, all of the stuff internal that you're subconsciously, doing uses calories. By putting more lean muscle mass on, you are raising the number of calories that your body needs, because lean muscle uses more calories than fat does.
Therefore, that's a simple formula to raise your metabolism.
Yeah, putting on a little bit of muscle mass. You got to have a little bit of protein and come in, do some work, create some tears, and you will eventually put on lean muscle. I'm not saying that you're going to get yoked over the course of like 2 months or something like that. Our boy here will, but that's a different conversation.
Body type.
Yep.
So
I'm
essentially,
tired of them covering up because your body type. Come on, tell them the truth.
hey, also that brings me to something else, right? So like, I'm gonna put this out there. I kind of put it out there, and you kind of scoffed at it a little bit. You said, "What? We're almost at 1,000."
Oh, yeah.
It was like 700-800, yeah.
I think, and we're not. But on our Facebook, we're at about 800 followers, roughly 7 to 800, which isn't bad for, what is it, 4 weeks?
Right.
This is the 5th one, isn't it?
This is the 5th one,
Yep.
so, yep, and this one, yep. So 4 weeks, how many we got, Marco? Are you looking it up right now?
2,000 followers. We're all on here naked.
No.
Say what now?
Dude, just 2,000's crazy. You're just looking for
741?
You just want to take your clothes off.
761.
761. 761 followers on our Facebook in a matter of 4 weeks.
Yeah, it'd be like 3. Yeah.
3 weeks.
Because we kind of went through the Iron
Yeah, the
Box.
Facebook debacle that Dunham did.
The first couple was just us, right?
Yeah.
looking at each other.
Hey, and then the more recent ones, I'm still like,
Yeah.
So we get to this 2,000 followers on our Facebook, and Otto will do an episode with no shirt.
okay.
You
I
down?
don't think as many people want to see that. As
Are you kidding?
think you're
People have
wrong.
request. Marco's asking for it right now.
He's like, let's see it. I'm not gonna eat for like 3 days before this happens if it does.
All right, so I want some brutal
I don't
honesty here.
professionally recommend that.
Yeah.
I want some brutal honesty here, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, the four of us, we work out quite a bit. Our sound engineer, producer, director, jack of all trades, Marco, has not really been working out much in his life. And he kind of told me and Otto, hey, I want to start working out. And so we hired Devin.
I pulled Chad's checkbook out.
I fuck up half of you on my legs though.
I so graciously pulled Chad's checkbook out and offered.
Yeah,
it.
I didn't know I was going to be paying for it, but he offered Marco that him and I would pay for some sessions with Marco.
As many as
with
you
Devin.
want, man. As many as you want.
Has the session went down yet or anything?
Two.
Two of them?
Yeah, we work together.
So what is your initial impression of Marco, and what do you think the future holds for him?
He wants it. He's showing up. He wants it. He has a good attitude. He's working.
Sweet.
So
It's going to be a journey, but he's going to do it.
I'm going to ask Marco.
Turn me up.
This is going to probably. Now I'm putting Marco on the spot. He didn't know I was going to say this. I didn't know I was going to say this. And I think that it will be a motivator for you. It'll increase your drive.
Tracking his progress.
How about we
On the
track your
podcast.
progress on the podcast? Are you down with that?
Let's get the dough.
Yeah, I already taken his initial measurements. Like, we have a next date set. It's like 6 to 8 weeks from, what was it, last Wednesday?
Did we take a before picture, Marco?
I didn't take one.
We need some before pictures. You're going to want them. And I would suggest that to anyone who's starting a fitness journey. Anyone, right, that you pick up as a client, they walk in for the first time and they're like, hey, I want you to be my personal trainer. I want to lose weight, or I want to get fit. I want to get big, whatever. I would suggest that anyone have before pictures.
I recommend it to my clients. I don't personally keep them. I have one client who sent me like a periodic before after. And she's lost more weight, and she's actually like kind of yoked up since then. But I don't actually track the pictures. I just track like the measurements.
Well, since we're kind of here and we're talking about this, and Marco being in the room and him being okay to talk about things like this, thank you,
Yeah.
Marco, and people listening that may be thinking about doing this, kind of touched on a couple subjects, but the steps for you as a personal trainer, especially getting a new trainee in that you're going to train like Marco, what is the process of them saying, reaching out to you getting a plan together, and then seeing what if they want to build, if they want to lose, what's those steps, and how do you kind of approach that to those guys?
So I don't want to say it's cookie cutter, but it's pretty close. For someone who has not been doing any type of training or anything like that, we get goals. Most of the time it's, I want to be stronger, I want to lose weight, I want to be more functional. That's my favorite, actually, legitimately. So I do 4 weeks of initial fitness where we hit a little bit of everything. I'm not going to send someone who hasn't been working out into a full-blown chest day. I'm not going to send them into a leg day. It's not realistic. They're going to be
Now,
super sore.
Marco's been super sore from your little test of your little, it's not even a full leg workout, right?
Right. Yeah. When we've done probably 2, maybe 3 leg workouts within a single session. Yeah, you're going to be a little sore.
Awesome.
They're going to be a little sore. But the way that I write my programs is I'm trying to get as much done with the minimal amount of, doing the bare minimum recovery time so that we're burning as many calories and getting as much growth and work in the hour. I only get 1 hour with these people.
1 hour, okay.
And I'm going to make it count.
Yeah.
I have a couple of clients that I can, most of my clients, the goal is 8 workouts at 8 different lifts or exercises in a session. I have a couple that can really cook, and we can get 10.
How many times do you want your clients working with you a week?
I don't like to go over 3.
Okay.
There was one client that I was doing 5 times a week, and
Damn.
it's selfish. It's a lot of admin to keep up with. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of programs to write, and I don't really have the capacity for it at this stage of my training life.
Because you, so they pay you for the hour, but on your own time, you're planning this.
Yes.
This hour.
Right.
Which is what I've when I've signed people up and they've asked about a personal trainer, I explain that to them about you, and that you do the first interview thing, like you interview them or whatever, and then you write all their stuff down, and then with your time, you know, they go back to their lives and you go back to writing down what they're going to do with these hour sessions.
Right, and I make sure that they have a little bit of skin in the game first. Like I'll write the very first initial fitness assessment is pretty it's pretty generic. I don't have to write that for anybody. I'll write maybe their first 2 weeks. You know, make sure that they're actually going to show up on time. They're going to pay. You know, all of the things that you worry about whenever you have anybody starting anything. You know, the things that you worry about as you're getting to know someone. Once they show me that they have some skin in the game and they're actually going to work and they're going to be a good client, yeah, I write their next 8 weeks. It takes me a couple hours, but that's what it's about.
Have you ran into a situation where somebody says they're gonna, want this, I want that, or I'm gonna do this, and then you're almost, it's like pulling teeth from them to get them to do anything, and then is there a point where you're like, hey, listen, I mean, we're gonna have to do this, or I'm gonna have to move on?
You know, people say that, you got to remind me of the joke where people say, I've had a gym membership for 6 months and I've seen no changes, and I'm going to go down there this week and find out why.
Yes. So the specific scenario that you said, no. There are people who, they gripe, they bitch, they moan, and that's fine. I take it in good stride. They still do the exercises, and that's what I really care about. And I tell them, you can bitch all you want to, just don't stop.
Right. I bitched through every single college workout I've ever went through.
Right, exactly.
So,
yeah, it sucks. It's supposed to. That's the whole point we're here.
Yep.
And that's cool. I bitched whenever I worked out. I still bitch when I work out.
Right.
So I take that in good stride, it's, we laugh about it, and it actually makes it more enjoyable. And I had a client that I won't name, and it was like pulling teeth. And the long and short of it is I did have to let him go because he didn't trust the program. He didn't trust what I was telling him to do. He wanted to do it his way. And ultimately it came down to okay, then go do it your way, man.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to facilitate this anymore.
Right.
I remember when you went through that and
Yeah.
you kind of, came to me for advice on that. And in the end, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Right.
And so, you are just a tool for someone to get to where they want to be.
Yeah.
All you can do is tell them what exercises they have to do and when to show up. And if they ask you what to eat, you kind of help them through that process. But you can't be there when they're feeding their mouth.
Right.
And then they come to you and complain about, I'm not losing any weight. Well, I'm with you 1, 2 hours, 3 hours a week.
Right. And that was the most frustrating part about it is I think that they were not being honest about the food that they were eating. And then I would recommend all right, here's some food prep ideas. Well, I don't have time for that. Come on, man.
You have everything that you have time for if it's a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I would, especially just going through personal training, you always think about things that, or you don't think about things you'll have to go through, something like that, working with people and them not wanting it as much as they're saying it, and then you just have to be there for, motivation and all sorts of things as well.
So the skill that I draw from there is actually when I worked at MatCorp. As much as I hated it, ultimately as a supervisor, you're convincing people to do stuff that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever you're having to have those difficult conversations, there's a way to approach that without ripping someone's ass or,
Right.
telling them that they're wrong. You just gotta, everyone has a different way that you have to touch them, and that's, I was able to draw from MatCorp and use those communication skills to help people with with how to achieve those goals. And I think we've all worked with somebody who there's not a good way, like they're just not interested in hearing it.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different people out there, and that, like, you know, if you went ahead and ran me through an hour session, you could say anything you want to me, and you could throw anything at me, and then I'm gonna do it, and you know, I may be bitching about it, but I'll be able to take it no matter what. So, dealing with, you know, whenever you're building your training programs for these people are there, you know, and they talk about just wanting to be more functional. Is there, you say there's a cookie cutter kind of standard that you kind of roll off of for everybody that says, hey, I want to lose weight, I want to be more functional, or I want to be more of a, you know, have better physique?
So the initial fitness is pretty cookie cutter. I have probably 2 or 3 like different programs made out that I'll draw from for initial fitness. And they work for about the first probably 2 weeks. And then that's when I start making little tweaks and saying, all right, I want to do this instead of this. This is where they're growing. This is where they're failing and stuff like that. But I always start with the basic model so that I can get their profile built and hit all of the different workouts and see how their entire body works and identify the weak areas and the strong areas. And that's whenever it starts to formulate up.
So I had Devin put me through, I don't even remember the circumstances, but you put me through one of your little HIIT workouts.
Yeah.
And I had done 30-minute HIIT workouts during that time. The one that you put me through was not even close to 30 minutes. I think it was 10 maybe.
Yeah.
They kill you.
Dead, bro. Dead. Yeah, it was rough.
It was a good time. No, you did great though, man. Like you kept tempo on it. Like, to give the man credit.
Yeah.
Like, you for not doing the HIIT routines, like, and I build people up to that. Like, that is not something that, like, and it's not even like week 4, week 5 stuff. Like, it's week 8, week 9 stuff. You walked into it and held your own. You did good.
Nah, he's just bullshit.
How long ago was that?
It's been
It's been a few months.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
over a year, I'm sure.
I think it was last winter.
Probably.
I remember it being cold in the back room.
It was a first and last for you.
I missed those days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much sold out.
So I've talked to, you know, everybody. We talked a little bit about my foot surgery last week, and things have not been well for my foot for a couple of years, and I'm excited that it's going to be healthy again. And I'm actually considering hiring you, not because I want you to keep me accountable.
Sure.
And you bring a different perspective to working out. You know me, I'm just all about pushing weight, and I know that there's other things I need to do. I do what I am good at, and I do what I enjoy.
Sure.
Which is a whole bunch of back and a whole bunch of chest. And I haven't been able to really do much leg workouts other than leg extensions, leg curls, and then the new name for the machine out there, the adduction and
Oh, good girl, bad girl.
the good girl, bad girl is the new name for it. I
Is
was
it
told
from you?
That's not new.
Well, I did not know that's what it was called. After the show,
talking about.
I'll tell you what we called it
hey.
after the show is over. Yeah,
You know what I'm
so,
talking about.
but I've been able to do good girl, bad girls. I've been able to do
Anything
some
that doesn't involve putting any weight on the
on
foot.
my
right?
foot. Now I could always do some. Why am I drawing a blank?
Slip?
Yeah, no, the leg press.
How long until you're good?
It's really kind of a
Longest,
longest 3 months.
shortest.
Next week.
Next week. I'm ready to be on you about it.
No, my doctor told me that once I got my stitches out, which will be next Friday, that as soon as I could put a shoe on, I could start wearing a regular shoe, which I don't have any swelling, which was originally what she had said. But then she's like, but you may have some issues with the scarring rubbing on your shoe or your sock, so you may have to wear the boot periodically, kind of tame that down till your scar kind of heals.
Or just roll up in some sandals or some slippers to work.
But I think that I'm a fast healer, so I think I'll be ready to roll in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. And so, man, I want input, you know, like I want to not be the fat 50-year-old like I am right now. You know, I'm strong. I know I am. I know I have a lot of lean muscle mass.
Right.
So I probably burn a lot of calories throughout the day, but I eat a whole bunch of calories as well. So, I want to work on that stuff. So if there's anybody in that boat, how do they get a hold of you? Anybody from around this area, Independence, Montgomery County, that wants a personal trainer? I already told them that you're the busiest, so that makes you the best, in my opinion.
Right.
I boost you up every chance I get.
Well, no,
too.
I see you guys. I see all of you repping. I really appreciate
No,
it.
I mean,
I do appreciate it.
Hey, but I'll be honest with you, bro. You're not always the one it depends what people's goals are.
I'm not the right
Yeah.
personality for everyone either. Like,
You-
I
you
know
are
that
not. Yeah.
I'm not. It can't always be me.
You don't vibe with everyone, just like none of us vibe with everyone. If you do, you're a bitch. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have your own opinions, your own personality, and you're not going to get along with the people that get along with everybody are weak
Yeah,
because they're afraid to put their opinion out
like a
there.
chameleon.
Yeah.
I feel like I just saw something like that like a couple weeks ago. Maybe you said
chameleon?
something. No, something that you said. It was what
bitch?
you hit on. I read something that was like that. And just like came back to me when you said that. Yeah, that's true. though. Very true.
How do they get a hold of you?
All right, so I got business cards here in the gym. I have a Facebook page, Devin Packett Personal Training. You can message my personal Facebook, or you can get a hold of me on the business page. Either works.
And you're here a lot.
I am here a lot, yeah. For the most part, you can come approach me. Please don't come talk to me mid-set. But if I'm like between or something like that, the only thing I'd ask is if I'm really zoned in, I'll usually like have my hoodie on and stuff like that, hood up, trying to get my workout in. I'm usually between clients. If you try to come talk to me, then I'm not going to be an asshole about it, but I'll tell you to like, all right, go grab a card, like hit me up later, like I'm fucking busy.
Yeah.
Like you're famous.
And you
dude.
you
Cool.
train all levels, all ages of clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the youngest I've had is like 20 years old, and I trained a woman in her 70s last year.
Yeah.
You trained your son a little bit.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's not training. That's dragging him through a workout, kicking and screaming.
Discipline.
Yes. Yeah, that is parenting.
So they can find you on Facebook. I'm mentioning this because this is 2 weeks in a row. He put it on our little Facebook. Hey, we have a little group chat that he got a mention in the Facebook post in the podcast last week. TJ.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
he has.
I saw that.
TJ has helped you come up with slogans, and on
Yeah.
the back of your shirt it
It
says,
does. Can you hack it with Packet?
"Can you hack it with Packet?"
Yeah, that's the.
What were
that's
some of
motto.
the? Do you remember some of the rejected ones?
No, I do not. Don't remember a single one. Sorry.
That's quite convenient. you
Okay,
know?
so I will get with TJ this week,
And we'll hear about next
and
week.
and he will write me a list of slogans that did not get accepted by Hack It with Packet, and we will read them, or we'll put them on our Facebook page, and we'll put them in a poll and see which ones they
Which
like
ones are
better.
the best?
Yeah, so
I'm not saying I'm gonna rebrand, but if a good one pops out, I'll take it.
So last week on our Facebook page, we asked the question, "What are the better? Which is the better exercise to build your glutes?" Because I'm telling you, 75% of the women that come in here, they ask, "What is the best exercise to build my glutes?
Yes.
What is the best?"
What'd you say?
Apparently it should have. I may have maybe missed one that should have been on there, but what was on there was hip thrusts,
Yeah.
barbell squats,
Yep.
and goblet squats.
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with goblet squats. I would change that out with Bulgarian squats.
See, somebody else suggested RDLs.
Yeah, RDLs too.
Is Bulgarians just like split squats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So with your foot up on the
With the foot. Oh, with the
Yeah.
elevator. Okay.
back foot elevated. So out of those, which would you say is the best for building glutes?
Hip thrust.
Overwhelmingly, that's what the answer was.
I
Correct.
said squats.
It was like 90.
One vote, and it was Chance.
Chance voted barbell squats.
So,
Yes.
have you done hip thrusts?
I have done hip thrusts, but I haven't ever done them consistently enough for them to matter.
Yeah, dude, load yourself up. Like, do a heavy day of hip thrusts.
Bro, I'll do it with you, bro.
I'll
I've
do 'em with you
never
also.
done. Hey, I've never
Get a
done
bunch
them.
of big guys in the back
We'll just
doing
get
hip
it in,
thrusts,
dude.
man.
Suck.
I've never done it. So
Everything about
I'm
it.
talking like big plates on there.
Yeah,
you and me.
I mean-
we're thrusting.
Okay,
like,
we can do it, but like
an hour
it's gonna
session, dude.
All right. So
And that right there is the attitude that you need.
suck. We can do it, but it's gonna suck.
today we're going to put up a question on there, and I want you to give me 3 quad exercises And you give me 3 quad exercises. We'll make a poll of this, and we'll see which one the viewers think is the best.
The best quad exercise. Okay. Squats, obviously.
With a barbell.
With a barbell. yeah.
Okay.
They tear me up.
Leg extensions.
Yeah. It's man.
That's like a
The
finisher.
second one I'll say is leg press, as long as you're positioning your feet appropriately for it.
That'd be the same with the barbell squats too. Your legs would be
Yeah.
push.
Yeah, you're right.
Be positioned in the right spot.
Yeah, do it right so that you hit your quads, and then yes. Man, I almost want to say wall sets.
They do that.
They
will
tear
get
you up.
Static wall sets.
with weight too. If you're like stronger already.
I'm weak. I can't do that.
Really?
I'll rephrase. I'm weak. I choose not to do that.
I'm on a different
Wall
path.
sets, squats, and what was the other one?
Leg press.
Leg press. Yep, then we'll do it. Now, and then the poll is going to be which one is the best for
building quads.
Okay, Yep. Awesome. Good. One other thing I wanted to ask you, because whenever you first started this whole journey and you did your test and you kind of looked at the personal training and you thought, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Sometimes there can be a lot of joy and excitement into getting into a new field. And throughout those times and your experience, have you fallen more in love with being a personal trainer than you thought, or have you fallen into more of it's just a job now?
Oh, no, I love it, man.
That's awesome.
I will never go back. And as much as I enjoyed teaching in the Navy, there were still a lot of things that I didn't like about like the whole establishment of it. And I loved it at one point, and I fell out of love with it. But I can say, like, with all the confidence that this is the first time that I've loved a job that I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. That actually makes me really happy to hear that too, as well. I mean, because it's hard to find something that you love.
Yeah,
and
super rare.
about it, yeah.
Are you loving the coaching job?
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's a lot, and I think throughout the few weeks I've been out there doing it and helping all them kids, I've kind of realized it's easier to just be the player than be the coach. I mean, you got a lot of responsibility for everybody, and if I'm just out there working out or I'm just the guy playing, all I got to worry about is me. But now I got to worry about everybody else.
So to that point, man, like and we actually just talked about it, like I have to manage, so many different personalities, and like you have to know how to train every single one of those people. I think that you're going to be growing into that in this first couple of months. And that's awesome for you. It's going to be really hard. You're going to be very challenged.
I already have been. I definitely have been challenged.
So just know that you have about 10 kids on the D line? 20? How many you got?
30.
30 kids on
okay.
the D line.
Yeah, so it's JUCO. We don't really have a set number. A lot of these guys aren't just rolling in on scholarships. They're paying for their way, or they're just on partial scholarships. So, you're free to come and give it a shot. And then if you make the team, you make the team. And then things get a little better for you.
So I'll be out there next season.
Yeah. And then
I have all my eligibility left.
all of it. Well, yeah, come on out. We can fit you in. If you can long snap, we'll long snap you. But
I would love to see Chad in some football pads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Bring me back, bro.
put him in the
He's like, fuck this boot.
put
Throws
him in
it
on,
off.
on D line, goal line stop right there. But yeah, it's exciting, and I'm learning everything about the other side of football, of coaching. I know everything about being a player, but now I'm learning all the coaching side of it, and kind of more than anything, just getting my ducks in a row, and that way I can start working on recruiting, and talking to other players, and the more of it, other than just the coaching. Because right now I've just been trying to get all my guys right, just shooting with their hands, striking, get disengaging, and getting that mentality to play violent, and don't feel sorry for the other guy because you're playing violent. Feel sorry for him because he's lined up on you, and
Well said.
and they're just starting to have that click. And we had a scrimmage Saturday, and I saw some things show up on film that I'm like, oh yeah, it fires you up because you finally put all this effort into trying to get them to do certain things or play a certain way, and then you start seeing it show up. You're like, holy cow, maybe there is.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
there's
so
something out there.
as somebody who has worked my way up through management,
Yeah.
at the top of my field in meaning that I'm the head boss at my current position outside of the gym. I enjoy watching young people become a supervisor for the first time
Yeah.
when they have to manage 5 other people and the chaos that ensues until they grow into that position and they learn how to handle it. And then as you move up, I thought it was a song playing. It was
It was my ringtone.
just imagine the stress that you feel managing these kids now.
Yeah.
Think about the head coach
Oh yeah. Yeah.
or even the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator.
Yep.
As you go up, it gets very lonely at the top.
Yeah, yeah, and I've seen that. They were very happy to have me come in and help and have somebody with some energy, some drive, and to kind of meet the energy that was needed to help, because it'll make your job easier at the top if you have a lot more people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
100%
Yeah.
truth. If the people that you supervise as the manager are doing their job, it makes your job as a manager so much easier, because you don't get those middle of the night phone calls that you used to get, because now they can count on their leader.
Right.
And then if that leader needs help, then they call me. So,
Yep.
all right, Otto.
Otto,
you
come on,
didn't- you
give us
didn't
something,
say a whole-
man.
Give us something. You didn't say a whole lot today.
I was listening.
Yeah, we need to hear something.
What do you need to hear? You just tell me what to say and I'll
So
say it.
Otto has
That was your day, Otto.
Cadillac on the brain.
The car. No. I mean, I'm just stoked for Devin. I mean, I've seen it more than most. His growth in the past, what is it, year and a half?
Yeah, I've really taken off in the last, I've been training for a year and a half. It was February last year.
You went through a rough spot towards the beginning of my time here, at least, that you were just kind of like, I mean, you were taking it personal when people weren't, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that was the growing of it. And I tell you, you are gonna feel this. You are not a bad coach because people don't receive your instruction well.
Yeah.
I struggled with that. And actually, the guy that I was talking about that wasn't losing weight, like that was, and he made it a point to let me know that it was my fault and it was my problem.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know,
I took that to heart. It was
that
hard
kind
for
of
me.
follows the Jocko Willink path that I read his book and I bought in, and he says there's no such thing as bad teams, just bad managers. Now, he goes into great depth into that in the book, and I would say even as a football coach, that is a really good book for young leaders.
Yeah.
To kind of help you manage different personalities. It's called Extreme Ownership. Really good book.
We'll buy it for you.
And
Please.
he's always
I
can't read.
Chad, where's your checkbook?
So anyway, yeah, that's my plug for Jocko Willink today. But he's a Navy guy. He was a real life Navy SEAL commander. You know, not played one on TV. He's the real deal.
Right.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. I mean, just an all-around badass dude. And him and his one of his other SEAL commanders have written a series of books. The first one called Extreme Ownership. But you know, it really talks a lot about how to deal with those difficult personalities. And then then there's a second follow-up book. We'll talk about that another time. We'll get Jocko on the podcast. That'd be nice.
He's like a famous person.
Jocko, hey, hit us up if you ever want to be on.
Hey, I'll hit him up too. Everybody's in his DMs tonight.
Chad's like, I love you.
Anyway, thank you, Devin, for being here. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Good stuff.
What's up with next week?
Next week, we have Matt Foreman, also a Navy guy.
Yeah, I think I have him on my Facebook. He posts a lot of good stuff.
So Matt Foreman, and I'll let him come in and tell his story because I don't know everything about Matt. I know that he was a medic for high-level operators in the Navy, door kickers, and so excited to talk to him about that, his fitness, and his recent jiu-jitsu tournament that he competed in. So
Yeah.
we got a lot to talk about with Matt, so everybody check that out next week. We'll have this up on YouTube at noon on Sunday, every Sunday, and then when Marco gets a chance. He's a busy man. It'll also be on Spotify. There'll be a link to it on our Facebook. Check us out on TikTok, and you can see some snippets. And
Also, so we're gonna start your progress. We're gonna start.
I'm glad you
at
said it
least-
because I was just about
Yeah,
to.
at least every. I mean, maybe not every episode or whatever like that, but
We're
it
gonna
will-
wait.
it-
We're gonna have a scale right here every time we come in.
we
Turn
put
the
it
camera on and
Facebook.
get on the scale now. Oh.
No, first big highlight we'll say for him, and a little heads up for you. We're squatting for the first time this week.
Big dog shit,
Big
homie.
excited to get you in the squat.
What
rack.
what day?
When is our Friday, right?
Friday next week? At the end of it? End of next week?
It,
Monday? It's Sunday. You're squatting tomorrow?
I witnessed
No,
one
we
of the
have-
training
we have 2
sessions. They were getting to the dough a little bit. You know, what I mean, they were working their way around the gym and.
yeah, Friday. You're squatting.
Friday.
He might not. Hey, listen, he's still got to come in here and help us out do this.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
Can we get at least one video of him squatting on Friday?
Yeah, we'll post it. He'll
Yeah.
post it. Yeah.
He said
yeah,
okay.
we'll make
Marco
it,
said okay.
We'll make it happen. I appreciate you offering your consent for us to squat, like to record you squatting.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just open book, Marco.
All right, guys, man, I appreciate everybody. Chance, you can go fishing now.
Yep, I'm off.
Yep. So anyway, guys, check us out. See you later.
Peace.